Okay, so this book, as I said, I think in the video that I had to just cut off, um, there's a lot of the paper is from Linda Israel and a partnership with Linda Israel and Calico Creations. I hope I'm saying that right. So this beautiful paper here, some of this ephemera, it's all from, I think that, I'm not 100% sure, is all from their C journaling printable kit. I started and still do today actually use bookbinding tape. I find that's the easiest way for me anyway and most secure to bind the books. In later books, I did actually also cover this with fabric, so I can see potentially utilizing more and more fabric in the future. But I do really like the bookbinding tape. This I think is 3 inches. In later books, as they get thicker, I moved all the way up to 5-inch tape. And it's a very crisp and clean look for me anyway. So this was also the first time I started to use more fabric for pulls. I had started to experiment on, this is not anything that I did on Photoshop. This is, I think it's Tim Holtz that I used alcohol ink on to try to, grunge it up a bit. Now I tend to use real photos, as I said earlier, and put them in Photoshop and add some distress and tatter and scratches and such, so they look very authentically vintage. This is some of the script that folks had left us as they came to visit us. This is all from, I think it's Out to Sea. This really, really cute stuff in terms of tuck spots and ephemera and such. I very much started to love letters and seals. So that was, this is the first time that I experimented with envelopes. I now tend to make a little bit more tattered envelope even than this, and create my own. But again, this was the first of many journals now. Love flips. So love anything that can actually flip off the page. I think it adds interest. I, as so many of us do, I often add like sheet music into the journals. Oops, I'm out of focus. Because I think it's a really cool item, and I think it just adds interest to the book itself. This is a collage that I loved, utilizing postage stamps as well as other ephemera and charms. Again, another envelope with a bingo card. I found out as going through this book that textures of paper and different weights and different styles, and even so much little things as like still having the holes on ripped out paper from a 3-ring binder, that all matters to me. I like having different types of paper. I wouldn't particularly like a journal, for me anyway, this is all my preference, that has all the same kind of paper in it. I like a mix of printables, of like invoice paper like this, lined paper from a notebook that you print out, as well as coffee dyed paper. I really, really liked this printable. I think I just got this from the internet. I don't think it was any kind of content creators, I believe, and it's the blueprint for a ship. It's printed on heavyweight paper, parchment paper, and I really liked how that came out. This is vellum paper that I coffee dyed. Some really pretty ledger paper. And this is a really good example of sort of my progression, in that in future, had I made this book recently, I would have made this much more grungy. As I've gone through the books, I've learned what I've liked, and I definitely like the grungy old, something that looks like it's from the 1800s or 1900s, early 1900s. So this I would have been very much, I would have coffee dyed it. I would have done, there'd be no white. That's, again, as I've evolved, that sort of style has come to light. This is also the first time that I use any kind of stitching in a craft. This is a very heavy stitch, and I don't tend to use this stitch in current books, but I like how it looks here. I think I actually, if it wasn't, I think I bought a new, I wasn't using an old one, it doesn't matter, a new sewing machine, because I wanted to do different kind of stitches, and I think this is one of them. Just has more postcards and ephemera, lots of boat type blueprints and such. Coffee dyed paper. This is an old ship manifest that I thought was really cool. This is funny. Obviously this is not vintage, and it's not actually part of the book itself. But this is a good example of, when I was talking about the usage of this particular book and how it's sentimental, and that we have people sign it as they come to visit and stuff. This, when we're down the Cape, we spend a lot of time with our neighbors and play cards and stuff at night. And our one neighbor we call Papa Pace. He's 89. He's very beloved, and he keeps track of our games. And so we kept this scorecard just for sentimental reasons, and he gave this to my daughter when she won a game, so we kept it, just so we have it to look back on in future years. This is a gel print, a printable. I did not make this, but I love the way it looks, and actually have since now started to make my own gel prints. So, but I loved the colors on this when I first found it. This is a really good example. You can't really tell the weight on here, but in future journals, I would not use this lightweight paper for this type of ephemera, and I would have also not kept this white border and kind of grunged up it so it looks much older. It wouldn't have a white background. I very much like, for things like this, I like a very hard cardstock. It becomes difficult because I can only put so much, weighted paper in my printer. So I'm limited to what my printer can handle. I would prefer if I could use 110-pound cardstock, but I can't. So often what I need to do is use, I think it's an 80-pound cardstock that I can get through the printer, and I back it. When I buy a new printer, I'll make sure I get one that feeds from the back so that it can actually accommodate that 110 pounds. This is just another postcard, another letter with a ship document inside. Some more ephemera. Beautiful paper from Linda Israel. This, as I said earlier, this is a map of our particular town where our cottage is located on Cape Cod. Beautiful, just cute little tucks. More tucks and paper for journaling. All coffee dyed. Most of this is coffee dyed. Found a book that was, actually, I think I got this from Linda Israel too. I got an actual hard copy, like a box of stuff from her, and I think actually this was in it. Another bag. I very much like using these in journals, and I think I've used them in every journal I've made so far. I do grunge them up now so they don't look quite so brand new, but another of Papa Pace's scorecards, and it looks like their nephew won that one. Just a sentimental, lovely sentimental value for us. This is a cute little file folder that holds ephemera with a bull clip. The other part of the map, just a cute little note card. More ephemera, gel print. This is a gel, actually I did create this one. This was not a gel print. This was, I sprayed spray stain through a stencil. So I'm sorry, I misspoke. This is all spray stained. And then I used a stamp to do a world in the background just to give it interest. This is a glassine envelope, paper clip. This was really cute. I'll try to find the tutorial for this, or I'll make one myself. This is a very cute and very simple insert, folio insert that has pockets all over. For each section actually has a pocket, and it's made just by one 12-inch square scrapbook paper. So you don't need a lot for it. It fits very nicely into a journal. It doesn't add a lot of bulk. So much of the stuff I do now just adds so much bulk, and this doesn't do that. So it's a really good insert, I think. I printed some maps on, really beautiful maps, I think, on vellum paper. I love the way that came out. Just more printables, more coffee dyed vellum. And this became also a fan favorite for me anyway. I love old photographs, as I've talked about in the past. I love the look of vintage tape. So, and I enjoy making it. It's just so, it's certainly not hard. And I don't know, I just think it adds a lot. It adds a lot for authenticity, to use it to hold pictures in place, because I know for my own family, so often for the old pictures I have of my great-grandparents and such, they often have this kind of tape on them because the tape held them in place in some book. So I just really, I don't know, for me that's really authentic, and I like it. It's super easy to do. It's just a small touch. Some more ephemera, an envelope. Again, this is the area where we're located. And then just one last folio that's attached to the back cover that folds into 4, has all sorts of ephemera located within it. This is also a printable. I'll have to go back and look. I honestly can't remember. I'll try to find where I got it, and I just closed it with a small closure. And then the whole thing is closed by a simple elastic band and a knot and a bead. So that's it for this one. As I said, I will be making future tutorials on some of the items that are in this book, as well as the others that I'll post. And in the hopes that anyone actually has any kind of interest. Who knows? We'll see. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye.